Good morning, it is Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Market opens up here in about 2 minutes. Really quickly, when I say live, what I mean is that this is a situation where I'm recording myself, seeing the information, seeing the data for the very first time, compared to having already recorded everything, and now I'm coming back and explaining what's already happened. So this is not a trade recap. This is not a post commentary. I'm recording myself, seeing everything for the first time. In other words, I don't know what's coming next. So if you just want an unscripted, raw, nitty-gritty look into what it's like to be a day trader, how day trading can play out, then this will be a video for you. So as of now, I think I'm going to be watching PTON out of the opening gates. And I say just as of now because I don't know what's happening next. So maybe another stock comes about at the last second that pulls my attention to it. But for now, that's going to be the plan. So I'll pause and be back at the open. All right, watching Tesla here at 922. Gonna hop in there, 922.23. Looking for this thing to come down to at least 920. Ideally below. So approaching 920. So 920 is the spot where ideally it goes below it, but that's a spot where I'll at least consider taking some profits. Okay, there's it down below. Whoops. Well, I hesitate. Oh, and before I could even get my... So what happened there was I tried 920, and then it was looking like I wasn't going to get it. So I had to just settle for 921. But before I could get up there and cancel my 920 order, it went down and filled me. So, because this is what I didn't want to risk. Like I said, the bid dropped below 920, so I thought I was going to get more than that. But then when I saw I wasn't even getting 920, I thought, okay, well, I got to lock in at least something, which is where the basically 21 order came from. And then before I could go and cancel, which luck was on my side. Because look, I mean, now look, that's exactly why I got out where I did. Now the 920, I didn't mean to get filled there. I wanted to let that one hold on. But like I said, ultimately in hindsight here, I got lucky that got filled anyways. Because look at that. What a bounce. Goodness. Well, yeah. No, and I don't mean luck in the sense of, geez, it would have still been a winning trade regardless. I'm just saying it was actually a pretty maximized winning trade there, given that I got out at 920 there. So again, I don't want to come across like that was just some lucky thing that, no, I just meant, let's see, oh yeah, halted, okay. What was I saying? I just want to, I don't even remember what I was saying. But point being is I got lucky from the maximization standpoint, not from a trade perspective. Like there's no randomness in that, in sense of, oh, you got lucky because you just randomly picked that out. That's not what I meant by that. But okay, up $88, and market's been open 7 minutes. So okay, well here do we have a 15? I do like BABA here at 115. BABA 115 plus 0.1 minute. If it comes into play. Again, only interested at 115. Yeah, maybe a little bit above there, 115, 15-ish. So let's see what it wants to do. This wants to give me another green candle. That would be great. Okay, making a move in there at 115.09. Try for some shares at 114.75 just to put a little profits in the bank. Well, now it's completely bounced on me here, but we'll see if it wants to come back down. Yeah, not the ideal price movement there. Now the question is, do I want to maybe add? And yeah, I do. 114.50. So if this thing wants to come down to 114.50, I'm going to add to the position. But we'll see if it wants to come back down or not. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and pause for now. I'm not going to make you sit here through what could potentially be a long consolidation. I don't know. But I will pause, and if it's looking like I'm going to have to take a loss, or if it's looking like I'll be getting ready to add to the position, I'll get the video rolling at that point. Okay, it's coming down somewhat. But again, I'm interested at well, it was coming down, and then that fast turned around. Okay, so then never mind. Okay, maybe starting to come down here. Okay. Oh, whoops, I forgot to cancel my order there. So I just locked in. So I'm going to do this instead. I won't add. I'm just going to be more aggressive or more conservative with my profit lock locations here. So let's see if we can get the break of 114.50. So instead of locking in more profits at 114.50, I'm just not going to touch. I'm not going to take any profits at all. So kind of just a way to maneuver around. So again, I'm not necessarily adding, but I am in an indirect sense by just not being as aggressive with my profit taking. Although I really don't like how this thing continues to bounce around down here. So still have 100 shares left, but again, I've taken some off the table just because at this point, I'm not quite sure. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe this thing's getting ready to truly collapse. And if I am wrong, I have 100 shares. But if I'm right and this thing goes back against me, well, you know what? At least I lessen the load, and it'll just be a very modest loss. So obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that this is not bouncing. I hope that this is not any sort of bullishness, and this thing comes back down. So this is one of these things where I'm rooting against myself. Please be wrong here, Clay. But if I am right, like I said, at least I've lessened the risk. Like I said, I'm approaching this from, that I added. So I'm going to be extra conservative in these profit targets if it does come down. Like I said, right now it feels like it almost wants to bounce, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I'll keep you updated. All right, it's coming down 114.50. Going to be that near-term level, and then after that, the next golden goose level will be 114.15. If that can fall, then I bet I can get down below 114. But there's no doubt this area on the chart is being very, very stubborn. So once again, pulled off a few more shares, same logic. Still have plenty of shares if this does decide to go. But if it does bounce, then I'll be just fine. Okay, yeah, it's definitely going to be, and I have adjusted my stop now. Stop is now going to be, up over 115.20. So I'm also managing risk in that sense where my stop loss is not as high as it once was. So like I said, I can't quite do the math. It might still be a losing trade. Where did I get in at? No, it should still be a winning trade regardless. But it should, if anything, it'll be a very small winning trade. Or I guess with slippage could potentially be a very modest losing trade. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause. So I do have a hard stop in now because I don't really feel like monitoring this. I want to look around the market, see what else is maybe out there. So maybe a situation where I get another trade going here while this one sits out there because I have my stop in place. And at this point, it's just a question of what does it want to do? Does it want to reverse back around and bounce, or does this thing ultimately want to come back down? And like I said, I don't really want to sit here and lock myself too much into it and then miss out on other potential trades. So, all right, there we go with a little bit. Again, at this point, I'm not interested at all in taking any profits out unless it can get down below the 114 mark, which looks like it's going to try. So as of now, I'm very glad that I held that I did because apparently I was wrong. So good thing that I held some shares. Let me throw out an order down there. Try to pull off 25 more down below 114. You know what? At this point, let's just do this. I'm just going to I'm just going to leave the stop in play. And I'm just going to adjust it down as we go. So at this point, no, because I would technically still lose a little bit on those last years, but it will be a green trade. So I'm just going to go ahead and follow this down with the stop loss, and yeah, we'll see how far down it goes. So I'm in a good spot right now. Not a question of if I make money, but hey, how much money am I going to ultimately make on this? Because I don't know how far down it's going to drop. But let's go over to CRNC. Interesting. Now this is the one that was halted. Am I recording? Yeah, I remember. Okay, it was halted. Oh wow, how did I lose track of mRNA? What a move. And just from a logistics standpoint, if I get stopped out, that order will turn green, and then that right there will go and change to 0. So that's how it'll work. So if you're kind of curious on all that, let's come over to yep, stop's not going to be changed right now. Okay, I will go ahead and pause, and well, actually, mRNA. $156, $157.50, so $150. Just kind of do some, yes, I'm talking to myself, just doing some basic math here. I don't know though, this thing's pretty beat down. Might just be chasing at this point. Yeah, I better not. I better not. The 5 minutes mainly, let me bring that over. It's mainly driving my position right now. Just doesn't feel quite, feels like the move is basically already happened. Okay, I will pause. All right, sorry, just missed it. I flipped over, but was just stopped out there on BABA. So made 36 bucks on it. Clearly had it gone more in my favor, that would have been a much larger gain there, but it didn't. It bounced back up as you're seeing now, so it is what it is. And gave it a chance. It just didn't want to work out. And I'm glad I held off here on mRNA. The 157 could be very interesting here. I gotta be, oh, Tesla's looking, yeah, 948. So if I did 200, yeah, I'd be still more than willing to go red on the day because I'm not up that much at all. So in at 944. Looking for this thing to come down. Need at least 942 for me to even think about taking profits. Okay, took off half there. And I was going against the trend. So take that for a quick little scalp there on Tesla. Worked out just fine. mRNA though, been keeping an eye on that. Yes, I do. Okay, interesting. So up 200 on the day. Nothing big. Still, I'm willing to go into the red. Yeah, let's see how it behaves up around this area. And yeah, BA, Baba still just working its way up. So picked a good spot for that stop loss because it's just continued to grind higher. Okay, I will pause. No idea if it'll come into play, but mRNA at 159 I like for a short. Again, don't know if it's going to come into play, but if it does, I'd be very interested in it. I'm also keeping an eye on Tesla, but those are going to be my two main candidates as of right now. So I'll go ahead and pause. But I'm going to speculate a little bit here. Get short at 160. So I'm taking on risk because I really don't have any confirmation of anything, but it just seems like this thing does want to potentially come down through. So bid's now below 160, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because we need some more selling pressure to show up. Let's see if we can get down to 159 and then through. So took 50 shares off at a nice little 60-cent gain there, but still have 100 shares if this thing does want to pick up some momentum. Nope, and that fast. Well, I tried. I got the move. I'm just going to back out there. So again, I'm not really... I got what I wanted. I'm glad I speculated. I got the move down. In hindsight, I should have just probably taken everything off at 159 and had a nice little $150 score instead of a $38 score. But that's me judging myself in hindsight. Had that thing continue to collapse, I'd be sitting here saying, hey, good job. I'm glad I slowly scaled out. But got the breakdown and started to get momentum. But this would be the exact opposite of momentum right here. So I'm just not quite getting any follow through on any of these. Going back, granted my Tesla trades were more so scalps. I wasn't looking for that much follow through, but mRNA and BABA definitely was looking for follow through, and just so I got the moves, just didn't get any follow through. And in hindsight, yeah, like I said, those ones should have been scalps too, and I would have maximized my gains. But again, that's just all hindsight, and sorry, I don't mean to make it awkward silence, but as I'm talking to you, I'm also looking at my scanners. Yeah, bummer. Got it. Well, I guess to pat myself on the back, I'm glad I didn't wait till 159, because that would have been a losing trade then. But I guess I'll try to stay positive. Even with the lack of follow through, still up $250 in about 30 minutes. So I mean, not many places in the world you can make $250 in 30 minutes. So I might be done. I don't know. I'll look around some more. But as of now, this seems like a market that doesn't want to give any sort of follow through. It'll give you moves, as you saw. I've gotten the moves that I wanted to see. It's allowed me to lock in some profit. So I mean, it's not like it's a terrible market. It's allowing me to get a move, to lock in some profit. Look at this. But then just completely snap back. And sometimes you'll have markets like this where you just don't get any follow through. And other days though, you'll have beautiful follow through, and you will be so glad that you hung on to a portion of your position. But one of these days, yeah, this has been it's been a scalper's day where if you get the move, boom, in, all out, maximize that gain. But other days, if you do that, you're going to leave a ton of profit on the table. But not today. Today would have been, definitely the way to go about it. And I kind of know I'm repeating myself, but like I said, I'm scanning at the same time. But it's an important lesson because, that's where the market, you just got to understand that every day is going to be different and every day is just going to behave slightly differently. So it's not like nothing worked today. It just didn't work as I thought it potentially could. Okay, I will pause. Like I said, maybe I'll take another trade, but I might just have to accept the fact that if I do take a trade, it's going to definitely have to be more of a scalp and not sit there and wait for the thing to really move for me, because yeah, as I'm looking around, I mean, everything is just, it's made moves and then it just goes right back in the other direction. I'm going to go ahead and get short here. 116.69 on ZBH. Very, very small share size. Pretty sure I've never traded this one. If I have, I definitely don't remember it. I don't know if I've ever seen this ticker symbol in my life. But I do like this setup. Again, I have no idea how it necessarily trades. So when there's uncertainty, for me, I like to just balance out that uncertainty, balance out that risk, which is small share size here. So I'm not going to make a killing on it, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to lose a ton on it either. But yeah, I'll go ahead and pause because apparently this thing's going to be a bit of a slow mover. Yeah, now I'm wondering, I just force. No, I didn't force. It's a nice setup. It started to get a breakdown. But given there's probably some frustration right now in the crevices of my mind because I haven't been getting any follow through that okay, so 116.75. Does this thing want to come down? Not a huge fan of this movement here. Yeah, that's a nice candle, but I've barely gotten any movement on the actual, yeah. All right, I'm just going to hop out there. Good, solid candle, but then, yeah, I mean, dollar-wise, that was still only like a 40-cent move. You had a big candle, and I'm thinking it could bounce off that yellow line there. So, I mean, and that's, I wish I could say this was all planned out in the entire time. That was not planned out. That's exactly why, if you're not familiar with something, just lower your size, because I was not very familiar with it. Should I have known? Should I have taken? Yeah, I probably should have. I should have been like, wait a second. Yeah, that's not going to be that much of a mover. But it was 75 shares to begin with. So, like I said, I'm just going to definitely move on from that. Facebook, though, just been watching this one. It's like, no, I don't get short now. That's like the bottom. But look, I mean, look at this 5 minute. Whew. I mean, it just keeps going straight down, but you just can't get short now. I guess I could try some sort of momentum scalp. But that's because all it takes is for one thing to bounce in your face. All right, so up 268. which I'm quite pleased with given the nature of today's market. And look at this thing, just keeps. You know what, if anything, I should be thinking about getting long at these lows. Yeah, that's what I'll do. If this thing wants to come down through 230, I'm going to look to get long for a scalp. Because that would just be crazy right now if this thing were to come down to 230. So I'll pause and keep an eye on it. All right, back at mRNA, and it's back down to this 159-ish area, which I was talking about way back when. So I'm interested in taking it at 159. If I'm wrong, then I'm basically back to break even on the day, which I'm completely willing to do. Now, if I was up like $2,500 and I'm saying, well, you know, I could lose it all. Okay, that's a little bit different. But I mean, I'm up 268. So yeah, that's something that I'm okay with. But got to see this thing come down to 159. So I'll pause for now. All right, hopping in here, Facebook, 231.50. See if we can get some more pressure to the downside here. So all out there, just a scalp, as I told you. This will probably be the time where it just keeps on moving. And that'll just be how it goes sometimes. But told myself I'm just looking to scalp. And that's what I did there. So nothing huge, but like I said, and look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Now, it very well still may come down, but as of now, I'm feeling very good about my decision to just scalp. mRNA as an update on that one. Never came back into play. Hey, look at this thing. Look at that green candle forming. Look at that. Got the move, no follow through. So clearly I have not traded the best today, but to pat myself a little bit on the back, at least I've realized that the market doesn't want to give follow through right now. But crazy. And then you can see mRNA here. That one just never came back down to 159. So that wasn't necessarily anything too crazy, but yeah, wow. So confirmation that I just need to stick with scalping right now. But I maybe just should be done. You know, I'd love to get up to that $500 mark that I always like to, you know, strive for a minimum. But sometimes those profit, you know, kind of daily goals can do you more harm than good. Because I'm sitting there saying, okay, now I only need, you know, $140 more. But is that going to cause me to, you know, go force some trade? Maybe. Yeah, I'm watching Facebook on another monitor, and definitely Tesla has been good to me, but I don't want to go. Am I going to go back to the well too many times here? Choices. Or does Facebook want to come and play again? Looks like it decided to come back down some. 231, 232. If I risked 200 shares. The market has not been following through. This could very, very easily just be a fake breakdown. I got to continue to learn the lessons here. And if it comes down, in my mind, that is against the odds. The more likely thing, based on what I've seen, is that this thing, you know, might come down a little bit, but then bounce back upwards. So I got to just, like I said, take what I've learned, take my experience of how the market is behaving today. And like I said, if it goes and completely collapses, well, hey, so be it. But in my mind, that is the not likely thing to happen at this point. All right, I'll pause. And quick little update, exactly what I meant right there. Yeah, it moved a bit more, so it's not like it didn't move at all, but was there any sort of worthwhile follow through? Nope, completely just bounced back around, bounced back up. So potentially a scalp here though. We'll see how it behaves up around this area. So I could take a quick scalp, minimal risk. So I'm just thinking that through my head. 125. We'll see how it behaves, but I think I think I'm treading on the territory of forcing trades because I want it for the sake of the YouTube video to get up to $500, which is stupid. I know, you don't have to tell me. I realize it's stupid, but I suppose that's just the human mind and what I like to call the YouTube voice. But hey, that's kind of why I think these videos are popular. Is I just shoot it, just tell you what's going on in my mind. And right now, I want 500 because that'd make a better YouTube video than only $300, especially when the video is already 30 minutes. But yeah, I got to be careful because right now that could put myself into a chop fest, and then I take a loss, and now I'm not even that much further away from 500. And so as I talk out loud, I need to realize that I need to just call things. So that is all. I'm calling it good. I mean, a weird morning because I feel like I did terrible, but I still made 300 after commissions. Let's call it $325. So I mean, $325 for basically an hour. That's not too bad. I'll take it, but it just feels like it was a bad day. But it was just a day where there just simply was not any sort of follow through. So I mean, you think about it. I had a 100% win rate, but I couldn't even get up to $500 because I just didn't get any sort of follow through. So if you have these days, the big learning lesson here is this: just understand it's not you, it's not your strategy. That's just how the market is some days. Because I remember as a beginner getting started, I would look at a day like this, and my conclusion was, well, what am I doing wrong? Do I need to tweak something in my strategy? Is my approach different? Like, are my scanners broken? Like, what am I doing wrong? And just realize that if you have a day like this, doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you at all. Because sometimes the market's just not going to give you any follow through, and it's going to be, in kind of trading terminology, very choppy. So if you're ever careful out there, it's choppy. That's what this means: is you'll get moves, but no follow through. And if you're not careful, things will, chop right back up in your face. And the problem is you never quite know when things are going to be choppy. So, I mean, at the beginning, like I said, I was hoping that I would get movements, and it didn't happen. But I did learn, so that's why that final Facebook trade was just simply a scalp, which threw a quick little, profit in my pocket there. But that's all I have. So again, maybe, I realized maybe this wasn't the most entertaining video, but in all actuality, this is a super important video because these days will happen to you. And if I've done my job right and explain things, hopefully you now know that if you have a day like this, you don't have to go out there and try to reinvent your strategy. You don't have to start tweaking your strategy. Just realize sometimes that's how the market is. Now, if you enjoy these live videos, do two things for me, please. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment. If you enjoy these, if you want me to keep making these, I will, but they're very difficult to make because they are live. I have to talk to you. I have to think for myself. I have to make alerts in the chat room. I have to, I have to think through trade plans. So there's a ton of stuff going on in my mind, which is why I don't do these videos every day, but I will continue to do them as long as I know that there's interest. So if you do find these videos helpful, if you enjoy them, like I said, communicate that to me. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment, say hi, give me an emoji, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things go a long way. So I apologize that I couldn't get more action. But at the same time, I don't apologize because this is just the nature of the market. So get out there and realize that some days this will happen. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.